Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Coach Me. I'm Vic Sorrell, one of your hosts, coming to you from Nashville, Tennessee.
And I'm Candice Rooney, and I'm joining from Austin, Texas.
Hi, everyone. This is Des Stevens, and I'm also zooming in from Nashville, Tennessee.
And we are thrilled to have with us another friend of ours today from somewhere in her car. I can't remember. Did you say somewhere in New Jersey? Suzie Wright?
Somewhere in Jersey, yes.
Somewhere in Jersey. Yes, welcome in. It's wonderful to see your face, as always.
Oh, it's good to see you guys, too.
The name of our show, Somewhere in Jersey.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to be in New York. I thought that would be much cooler, but I'm still stuck in Jersey. So, actually, you know what? I am in New York.
Oh.
I am in New York. Yep, I crossed that bridge when I came to it. So yeah, I'm heading to Boston for the weekend for a few days.
Okay.
So.
That was the next question. Beautiful time of year to be in Boston.
Yeah.
And so great to talk to you. I have 100 questions for you, so I'm going to start with this because I see that, astrologer, psychic medium there is a part of your title. And, I've even had readings with you before, which have been great experiences. But what I'm most curious about is not every astrologer is a coach and not every psychic medium is a coach. So how do you incorporate coaching into and along with these amazing gifts that you have of astrology and being a medium?
Great question. Thank you for having me on the show, by the way, you guys. I really appreciate it. So that was a long journey to get to be honest with you. When it initially, I was trying to keep it very separate. I'm gonna do what I call like regular coaching here, and then I'm gonna have like kind of astrological coaching over here, because astrology is very much like, it's not just about forecasting and predictions. It's very Enneagram kind of energy around it. It's personality profiles and your strengths and weaknesses and all of that, or challenges, I should say. So I thought, this will be an easy slot in, it's just going to naturally go with this. And it has taken me quite a while to find that perfect blend. And the way it really shows up in my work is, which is what I really set out to do with coaching, is it blends in. So in other words, if I'm working with a client and they're just, they don't know the direction they want to go in, and, I look astrologically and see the different things, their potential, look at different houses and house placements of the planets and what that means to them and what that could look like. And then if they want to take it further, then I can help them explore what really floats their boat, basically, through the coaching questions and the coaching process. And it gets real good. That's when it gets real good. So I
can tell Candice is ready. Go. It's like,
go ahead.
I'm just curious. So do you start with the astrological chart and then go from there? Or what does it kind of look like?
Yeah. The majority of what I do, like I said, I do coach outside of that realm, and I'll tell you why. It's because what I was finding in the beginning when I was trying to find that balance, I started out doing, astrological type coaching. Like, we're going to start with looking at your chart, and then we're going to go into coaching. And what I was finding was clients were getting lazy. They wanted me to tell them what to do. They wanted me to tell them what was going to happen, and they wanted these guarantees. And so they were less willing to do the work if they knew that I could tell them how to do it. So I stopped doing that whole thing. And so now what it looks like is when someone comes to me just for a reading, just a what I call a normal reading, psychic reading, I do start with their chart. I also use tarot in the readings, and I kind of, again, it's like a seamless blend. I go back and forth between the two, depending on what the client needs. But there's usually, I would say 9 times out of 10, there's an opportunity in there to bring the coaching in to the process. I have, if I go into it too much with this idea of I'm going to coach you, I'll get pushback sometimes, because people that come to people like me, they want answers a lot of times, and they're not really looking to get coached. So it's been interesting having to learn how to really intuit and understand how far somebody really wants to go in the process, as far as what I can do, the level that I can take them to with coaching.
I think one of the coolest things about Suzie is that her clients come with what they want and they wind up leaving with what they need. And that's,
Yeah.
What a gift.
yeah.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
Sounds like some of my past relationships. Just
It's a
saying.
result of this multi-passionista, that Suzie is. I love how Suzie has blended all of these expertise and talents and gifts and knowledge bases, because the clients have the benefit of, oh, so you can tell me what's going on astrologically with myself and the planets. You can let me know maybe some intuition you're sensing about my life, but you're going to coach me so I get the best of both worlds. It's lovely. I think intuitive life coaching, being a metaphysical maven. I love one of Suzie's brands, which is Cosmic Common Sense, because it's this larger idea, but it's about everyday life. I just love that. What do you find most helpful with your clients, when they come looking for, let's say, the metaphysical side, but they wind up leaving with the empowerment that coaching provides?
Changes their lives. I mean, not to sound corny about it, but one of the things that I've noticed is, if you go back and look at some of the reviews that I had early on, I mean, I went full time in this it's been about 13 years now. And then in 2013 was when I added the coaching. And through that whole process, if you look at the way people talk about their experience with me back before the coaching, and then say like from 2014 on, it's getting deeper. There are more profound changes in the one session than ever before. And again, that was my goal when I got into the coaching, was I wanted to be able to offer more than just divination, and forecasting for clients. I wanted to be able to give them something that they could take away that was going to help them, make the changes that they want to make, or get to where they want to go. And so it's happening now, and it's kind of cool. It was a very organic process. I was thinking about this earlier. I was like, gosh, maybe it's time to write a book on that.
Well, to that point, go ahead. Yeah, and I think that it's very relevant that we're at this place in our evolution as human beings where we are learning to incorporate the cosmic into our commonality. It is very much a part of us, and it's an added dimension and a strength when we can start to look at it just like our eyesight or our sense of smell. It's just another aspect of our orientation with our lives. But my question is, with regard to coaching someone, when you feel like they are just barking up the wrong tree, so to speak, they're just way off base, and you're like, oh, wow, you're on this trajectory that is just, I can tell, and I'm getting all the signs, and I don't want to interfere, but I feel, what do you do? How do you approach that?
I ask the questions. I use the coaching questions there. It's amazing. It's amazing. I don't, the cool thing about that is it takes, like, I guess since we're talking coach to coach or whatever, it takes the pressure off of me from having to be gentle. I mean, it's not that I'm not compassionate about things like that, but instead of ducking around it and kind of hinting around it, and, I never let anybody leave my, a reading with me without all the information I get. So let me just say that. But it's how I approach it. Now I can just sit back and go, yeah, what if, what if they don't call you again? What's that going to feel like? And it's like, I never would have thought of asking that question before. It would have been like, well, I'm so sorry, they're not going to call you. It's like, so let's look at that. And I've got these amazing tools to get people to like process through fears and these anxieties that they have. And the coaching has become so massively important during all of this that's going on in the world right now, you know, because people are ready now, or getting ready to make these amazing shifts in their lives, things that they never thought they would do before. And so all of that is really, it's been invaluable to my practice. It's just been amazing.
Suzie, do you feel like currently people are more open to incorporating astrology or energy healing in their sessions? Like, what's been your experience with those who have never ever experienced anything like that before?
Yeah, I would absolutely say that. I have so many new clients now, people that have never explored these kind of things before, and it's just constant. People are really, they're becoming so much less afraid of it. And you know, and the other thing I was going to say is, you know, many years ago when I did start doing this full time, one of the things that I was really leaning into teaching was law of attraction. And it's funny now because so many people get that now. So, you know, I'm just kind of watching as people are getting a hold of that, what's the next level for them, you know? And so people are waking up, they are, or, you know, I don't know if that's
Ready for the next,
proper.
they're ready for the next phase for sure.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So what,
and it's exciting.
yeah,
go ahead.
what is the common question that your clients are bringing when these new people, what are they saying when they come? What are they saying that they need?
I would say the majority of them, and it just, you know, I think it's just the time too. I've had, I would say in the last 6 months, a lot of, I'm just lost and I don't know where else to turn. I'm just lost and I need some guidance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, you know, which way, you know, what do I do with it? It's kind of like this almost an even blend lately of people who are ready for major changes in their lives, and people who just want to know if their boyfriend's going to call.
Mm.
It's like an even mix of like, it's really funny.
Yeah, I think stands to reason, you know, depending on where people are in their own personal journey, you know, depends on what they're going to make of these very unique circumstances. Some people are going to want to go shallow because the deep dive is just overwhelming. So let me think about my boyfriend so that I don't have to worry about my life, kind of thing, you know?
Exactly. And that's, again, where the opportunity to coach comes in. Although, again, you know, you have to kind of, it's really difficult. There's no black and white way of walking into that, you know, leaning into that piece of it. You have to feel where people really are, you know, but I mean, that is coaching, you know, you're meeting people where they are, and if they're open, then you're leading them to the next steps.
So speaking of leaning in, we have a sort of a game we like to play with folks on the show if they are game. And that is, we like to do some coaching on the fly. So if it were up to you, would you prefer to do the coaching or be coached or watch the coaching happen?
I don't know.
One, two, three, intuitive hit.
Intuitive hit, probably watch the coaching.
Okay.
To be honest with you, just because I mean, I'm sitting in a parking lot with the car running, and I'm just So,
well, that's part of the fun. You get to have it your way. So there you go. Yeah. So Des, are you feeling coachy?
Sure.
Okay. So why don't you coach me?
Okay.
Okay.
I love coaching. So, and I know Suzie likes watching coaching, as all coaches do. Okay, Vic, how would you like to start your session today?
I think I want to talk about where I'm going with my my current job, what I'm feeling about it, and what I need to make of that, and how it's all unfolding.
And when you determine your feelings and your thoughts about it, what is the end result of that discovery?
probably the decision to sort of stay the course that I'm on and continue my my work, or make a change.
So right here in this moment,
Mm-hmm.
is this a job you want to stay in?
Yes.
And in staying, what are the benefits of staying?
Lots of possibility, personal growth, professional growth, financial reward, future oriented security, so to speak. Even though I don't believe anything is ever really secure, there's that possibility, there's that likelihood.
And of the things you just mentioned, which is your favorite part of this potential in staying?
I think it's the potential itself. What I've learned in the last 6 months or so of this job is it can change at any time and be something that it hasn't been before. And so it's just being a part of such a large, diverse company, feeling like my role could shift at any point to be something even more fulfilling, even more useful for me and for those I serve.
And what can you do as part of getting to that maybe next stage or next level that you hope for?
I don't have that answer at this particular moment. That's a great question. I love it. What can I do?
Yeah. So, sometimes we have this, oh, I can't wait to see what this is going to become. And sometimes we forget that we are part of that becoming.
Yeah.
I think working for others can kind of do that for us. Sometimes we get so used to like, it's up to them. So if it was up to you, what is the next 6 months looking like in this role?
Well, I want to coach in this role, but I want to coach. People who are doing what I have been doing in the company, but are doing it in a different way. Are bringing more possibly of a coaching energy around what they do for the accounts that they serve, instead of taking orders, sort of, coaching the people that they serve to achieve more of their own goals.
I love it. So who in your organization is the best person to have a chat with about incorporating this coaching in your role?
That's another good question. Most immediately I can see my supervisor, but I think there are other people too. And I just sort of I need to spend a little time with that because I haven't yet.
So if you were going to have that chat, how would that conversation start?
Well, you know that I've been exploring the possibility of coaching, and I love it. And I have a natural, ease and sort of a pull. I feel a pull in that area as a coach. And I love to have conversations with people about what they most want. And I'm developing my skill set as a coach, and I'm learning what coaching really is. And I'm wanting to talk about how that can be incorporated more into either my role or a new role that might be for me in the company.
Out as a coach role, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when would you like to have that conversation?
Monday.
Ooh, what time on Monday?
Well, let me just look at my calendar so that I can see what time I have a possibility. 11 Central.
Okay, so what needs to happen between now and Monday at 11 for this conversation to happen Monday at 11?
I need to write an email.
Okay. Do you know who you're going to send the email to?
I do.
Excellent.
For sure. Yeah.
So how are you going to start the email?
Hope you're having a great weekend. I'm having some time to have, I had some time to have a important conversation with a very good coach. who helped me to realize that we have an opportunity to have a conversation. And here's what I'm seeing. Yeah.
What's it going to feel like when you hit the send button of that email?
A new timeline just began.
So here we are on Saturday, 2 days from Monday. When do you want to send the email?
Like, let's say 1:30 today.
Okay. And what are you going to do right before you hit that send button?
Surrender.
I love it. Can't wait to hear what happens on the other side. So
Hey,
that's coaching.
that felt really
That
great.
was awesome.
Suzie,
great.
do you have any, as our guest, do you have any thoughts or observations, or anything come up for you while you were watching?
No, I mean, I was sitting there and I would think of something and then Des would say it. And so, she would ask it. So I kind of, I didn't really have anything additional. She's the master, of course, that was really, really great. I just, it was the ideal blend of coach and willing to be coached, client willing to be coached. It was a great example of how it works.
It made me, it amazes me how there's this space that I feel where Des just opens and the right question just falls in the space.
That's the intuitive piece.
Man.
That's the intuitive piece that she is so good at. And
That's why when
good coaches have that.
Sorry, Suzie, you're coming in and out just a little bit, but that intuitive piece which Suzie holds is that if you just allow that intuition to guide you in your coaching session, it makes coaching so easy. This is something that Suzie has learned, is that coaching is easy. Did you feel that way on day one of training, Suzie, that coaching was easy?
Oh God, no. I was terrified. I was terrified. And the other piece that just blew me away was what I learned in the training was the active listening. I'd had so much of that crap. I was an HR person. So we had training up the wazoo, and I heard all this and that. But none of it really sunk in until I guess it was because again I was willing to learn about coaching instead of just having to do something I was assigned, and that opened up the whole new way of life for me, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That those active listening skills to be able to really and incorporate the intent. Everybody.
I can really relate to what she's saying though about
feeling
that.
Yeah, you're coming and going, Suzie, just a little bit here. I think
it's
funny. Intuitives are prone to affecting devices. So whenever an intuitive is near an electronic device, you never know what's going to happen.
I've noticed.
Sorry about that.
Yep.
No problem at all. So I'm curious, you mentioned HR, and I do know this about your background, but what was that transition like for you, going from corporate to having a private practice?
Well, it was actually the 10 years I spent in HR that gave me the confidence to step into this. I've been doing astrology since the 70s. I've been reading tarot since the 70s. I've been talking to ghosts since I was a kid. So none of that was new to me. It was something that was always a part of my life. It was a passion. And well, except for the ghost part, I really didn't want to talk to that's a whole other story. But so I had this, these skills and this passion for something, and everything just kind of, divine timing, right? I was learning how to communicate to I don't know, it was a whole different level of growth that I went through. At the same time, I was heavily studying law of attraction and really applying it to my life. And I'll never forget, there was one day David and I went out to lunch, and I just looked up and I said, have you ever thought what it would be like to have your own business? And he just looked at me terrified, because he knew where I was going. And he was like, he married an HR professional and ended up with this, purple-haired psychic. And so, and he just knew, because I had finally realized that I could have it all, and so that was, it was just, everything just kind of came together. And I thought, I've been spending my whole life, working on behalf, working through these systems and, on behalf of people. And it's like, why am I not just directly going to the people that I can help? I can do this, and I've learned enough about business to be able to run a business. And, I think that was part of the missing piece too, was it's like, yeah, I can, this can be a business. It's not just a hobby, so kind of all just came together. And before I knew it, it was scary to take the leap, but I also knew that it was time. It was time to bring it all together, kind of bring it all home. And I've never looked back.
Suzie,
never regretted it.
What type of advice do you have for someone who is in that situation now? They know they have all these gifts, they have a lot to offer, but they're too afraid to just go for it.
Yeah. One of the things that I did was I took my time. I didn't leave my business, I didn't leave mad. I didn't quit because I was, I just hated my job. And I wanted to do something else. I did everything with intention and purpose, and I checked in constantly with whether it felt right or not. And there was even a period of time after I resigned from my position that I temped for a while, just to kind of get me, a little bit here, a little bit there, give myself time to really, create the business. And at the time I was looking for a location for it. And there was a lot of different things that I had in place before I actually separated from the corporate world and said, that's it. I'm not planning on going back, but I took my time and I was deliberate about it. And I made sure that I had, I had clients before I started. I made sure that I had enough, I had accumulated some over the years, but not a tremendous amount. I needed to know where I was going to get them, and had started building that base before I left. And so when I finally made the leap, it wasn't really a leap. It was, I just moved into it, and it wasn't, it wasn't shocking. And I didn't have to spend a lot of time in that fear of, where's my next client going to come from? Oh my God, it wasn't like that. It was very deliberate, and it was very paced and very thought out, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. So ease into it then.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's nice to hear. Speaking of that though, how can folks who are watching find you best? What's the way to get in touch with you?
Yeah, my website has everything on it. It's astrogirl12.com, and it's got everything. I've got free horoscopes out there that I write weekly. I've got a newsletter you can sign up for. There's my schedule is on my website, and all of the different types of services that I offer are all there. There's, you can just book online. It's super easy. Everything is just right there. It's a pretty beefy website.
One of the things that Suzie does that nobody else does. Tell us about your wagon.
Oh, my poor little wagon. Oh, I had this beautiful little. It's like a Gypsy Vardo. And it's like a replica of it, and it is so sweet. It is just it was built in 2012. We finished it. We started it in 2011, finished it in 2012. and I would take it out to fairs and festivals and all that. And it's just so it's red and shiny and happy and full of all kinds of colors and I just like last year I got curtains that have tarot cards all over them for it. I mean, it's just, I love it. But of course it's been sitting like everything in our worlds forever.
Not you though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
A newspaper wrote about it. They called it the tarot trailer.
Tarot trailer. Yep.
Love it.
So yeah, I can't wait to get her out again, but she needs a paint job now. She's been sitting too long in the backyard.
Well, thank you for not sitting in the backyard today and coming and even though you're sitting in somewhere in a backyard, maybe, I don't know what you're looking at, but thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us. This has been delightful. You're wonderful.
It's been awesome. I just adore you. I need to get you on my Spirit of Healing show that I do, the Facebook Live thing. I want to get you on there. Yeah. So tradesies. But
Indeed.
anyways,
Thanks, Suzie, so much.